Hey, what's up everybody? Destroyer here. Today I'm bringing you another Rise of the Witch King cast, patch 2.02, version 4. So, today we have a 1v1 on Fortress of Isen II. And the players are NT DoN, which is Donatello. So I'll be calling him Donatello. And we have Alexisonfi, which is Cam. So, I'll be calling him Cam and Donatello, I guess. I could call him Alexis. Doesn't really matter. But regardless, we have Isengard versus Mordor, so this should be interesting. Both these players are pretty good, I'm assuming. I know Alexisonfi is. I've never seen Donatello play. I'm assuming he's pretty good if he's playing against Cam. So, we'll see what happens. He is opening with 2 furnaces right into a clan setting. And has he chose a power yet? He chose Vision of the Palantir, actually. So he can see exactly what Mordor is doing. Mordor is opened with 2 slaughterhouses, then a orc pit, and then possibly built that afterward, or roughly the same time. But he will be running off 3 farms, and then a orc pit, and he will begin producing orcs immediately, as you might imagine. Also doing his scouting with his, I have Sauron there, which is the power he chose, as you see there, obviously. So both teams will have the intel they need, although Isengard will have better intel because he will definitely be able to see past the time of that thing, because it lasts quite a while, and the Vision of the Palantir in this patch is actually huge. You can see the entire base, so really, it's really useful. But that could put him at a disadvantage if he does need a war chant at some point. But the good thing about him versus Mordor is orcs are pretty weak in comparison to, I think orcs are weaker than wildmen, if I'm not mistaken. So, in theory, he shouldn't actually need War Chant as much. That's just my theory, at least. So it's actually pretty safe to go Vision of the Palantir, but I don't think he knew, obviously, that he was Mordor. And he's going with the Urk Pit now. Probably going to go for Crossbowman. Yep, that's what I would do too. The pretty standard thing is to go Wildman and Crossbows. Pretty effective. So we got Wildman in defensive stance, fighting off orcs in regular battle stance. And you see the orcs took casualties as the Wildmen did not. So Wildmen are definitely superior to orcs in that regard. And we got orc archers out from Donatello now, as well as sending orcs all across in every direction. Running off 3 orc pits now. Almost called them orc pits. So they'll be able to keep up a good spam, good steady orc spam. Lots of orc archers, lots of orc warriors. Good combo. Especially good against teams like Isengard for starting, I'd say. But crossbows are definitely better, so he does have to be careful. Although, looks like he might lose a slaughterhouse here. No, I think there's more than enough orcs to deal with that. Orc archers actually going around to deal with these guys. Getting a bit too close. Looks like he did lose a orc. That orc will be missed. But, nonetheless, it's perfectly fine. Everything's fine over here. Donatello is perfectly safe. But there is a large amount of blue guys here. So he's taking out the Warglare. Definitely need the power points and the resources from that, as that is always useful to have. Although, if the orcs could stop him and actually steal it from him, I don't think he'll be quick enough. If Cam is quick enough, he should be able to destroy that, get the gold before the orcs realize. Looks like that will happen. We got something go down here as well. We'll scuffle between some wildmen and some orc archers and orc warriors. Orc archers definitely getting the better of the exchange, as the wildmen aren't really trying to get anything done here. He probably lost a slaughterhouse, which is why those guys are level 2, though, I would imagine. Or something along those lines, who knows? I didn't really see. He hasn't lost a builder yet. He has both his builders. And so does Cam. The orcs trying to push. Looks like there's more than enough crossbows here, though, I think. Although with the Evil Eye buff, the orc archers do a good amount of damage. And you'll see these wildmen just melt away. Looks like Cam repositioning to get a good attack on these orc archers, though. Crossbows definitely effective against those. And as you see, they actually don't do a whole lot of damage. to the crossbowmen. Not a terrible amount to the... well, me neither. But we do have some Haradrim Lancers coming in. This could prove to be a huge problem. Some pikes immediately coming out, though, blocking the path. Lucky, right in the nick of time. Managed to save all those crossbowmen. They're very clumped up, too. But they still will get a run-through, as Cam does reposition his troops a bit awkwardly with his pikes over on this side. But it looks like the Haradrim Lancers will be taken out pretty quickly. Some more cartridge down here as well. Donatello keeping up the pressure. He is sending more Haradrim Lancers. Looks like they got a good trample on those crossbowmen, killing a battalion basically. Only a few surviving from that one. I'm not sure which one it is. They're all mixed up. But it did kill a huge amount of them. Now he will use those to run around, take out some furnaces. Cam losing a furnace here. So Isengard will be using a few structures in this attack. It'd be difficult to stop these Haradrim Lancers because they are very quick, but he will actually manage to get a few of them while they have to stop and attack this. Looks like War Chant has been purchased from the powers and it has been thrown down on the Isengard army. So they're all buffed and ready for combat. And he will begin sending them across the ford. There are some orcs over here taking out this furnace. Looks like they will manage to get it. Although Cam might destroy it himself. Although maybe not. Is he going to let him destroy it? Or is he going to pull a clutch? Nope, he actually let him destroy it. Interesting. I guess he has a lot going on. You got to build troops. You got to move your guys in the north. You got to move your guys to the middle. You can't always focus on one spot on the map when you're under attack. But such is RTS. And there goes a War Chant down for the other team. Donatello now having Haradrim archers. Very powerful archers indeed. And that is a good upgrade to his orc archers as well. Looks like he's getting more of those, which is always good. Mordor player is playing very good. 4 orc pits, so he's able to keep a huge orc spam going. He's got a fully upgraded Haradrim Palace. He'll definitely want to hold on to that as long as possible, as those are very expensive and very useful. You don't want to lose that. But keeping orcs backed up by Haradrim archers is very powerful, I think. Especially once you can start getting Easterlings out, you at least need a few of them. But at this point in the game, he doesn't need any Easterlings, because as you see here, there's no reason. Isengard can't build any Warg Riders until he has a Warg Pit, and there is definitely no Warg Pit here. So we have Creebang being thrown over the Mordor army here. It will weaken their armor and defense. Armor is defense. Armor and attack. Looks like Creebang being taken out by the Orc Archers and Haradrim Archers, though. Will he get the clan steading? Guy's coming out right into the fray here. I don't think these orcs are going to be enough to take out this clan setting. They're doing a bit of damage, not a ton. And it looks like Builder in trouble. Builder being killed. Oh, Donatello losing one of his builders. Also losing a slaughterhouse here. It's pretty crucial to hang on to your slaughterhouses as long as you can. Especially once they get level 3. It's crucial that you keep those level 3 slaughterhouses alive. But at this point in the game, they're not level 3. Some of them are leveling up to 2, though. And those are just pretty much as handy. You see, Donatello can have 525 command point limit. Isengard Cam can have 650. So he does have more resource buildings. Or higher leveled ones at least, but I'd imagine he has more. Looks like some men attacking from the north will be engaged by these orcs, but will be pushing their way through there. But as you see, Donatello definitely prepared, as he can just put out an army like that with all these buildings. And that's the power of Mordor, really. The power of spam. Useful spam and tactical spam, though, not just like throw guys at a wave of death. But you don't want to run these Haradrim Lancers through those pikes. Good stop there. That would have been unfortunate. Looks like they managed to kill off the guys here. These pikemen putting up a last stand. Fighting for their life, but they will be taken out as there's an overwhelming amount of guys surrounding them. And the War-Chanted Isengard army pushing forward. Being engaged by these Haradrim Lancers, though. Or Haradrim Archers, those aren't Lancers. Lancers are elsewhere. What's going on over here? Some orcs, okay. Looks like he will be moving that way, though. Those guys... Are they really, like, having trouble fighting these guys off? The Wildman doing a great job, actually. He's keeping his guys occupied everywhere. And it looks like industry being purchased there. Let's go over to the battle. Lots of crossbows here, lots of crossbows and pikemen. And at that point, that's pretty much the army composition you want to have. Crossbows and pikes against these orcs. I mean, obviously, pikes aren't the best against swordsmen, but they're actually stronger than wildmen, I think. At least defensively. So I'm not sure. But you need them to keep from being trampled by these Haradrim Lancers that keep popping out every now and then. And it looks like he didn't manage to get the slaughterhouse and decided to move on into the base. Possibly these wildmen should have attacked. No, I don't think it's going to matter. As the Haradrim Lancers return home and decide to swiftly kill them off. Donatello is pushing forward as well. He has some guys up here. Looks like they're regenerating, as they do have a banner carrier now. Creebane being thrown over the army of Mordor. It would be a pain. Creebane, does it actually say... Oh, we have Wildman Summon. Where was that used? That must have been used. That must have been what was used in the back of that base. Okay, that makes more sense. I missed that. Creebane reveals the shroud and detects stealthy units. Reduces enemy armor damage. Nullifies leadership. See, I wasn't aware it nullifies leadership. And I wish I knew how much it actually reduced enemy armor damage. If someone knows about patch 2.02 how much it actually does, let me know. Because that would be cool to know. Just for a future reference. But yeah, looks like Cam is regrouping pretty well. He's got Warg Riders on the field now, having a level 2 orc pit there. Still has his clan setting, which is good. As a fairly expensive building. Looks like some Rivendell Lancer, or Rivendell. Nah, those aren't Rivendell's. Haradrim Lancers will be pushing forward, managing to actually worm his way through the army there, bobbing and weaving between everyone, taking very few casualties, if any. Pretty impressive. Some Warg Riders about to engage a giant army of orcs here. Warg Riders are not enough to actually kill all these orcs. As you see, a Warg Rider going down there. If he was to trample them, they would get stuck, and then he would just lose his Warg Riders immediately, pretty much. It seems like a good idea to run your cavalry through a big army, but in reality, a lot of times your guys will get stuck trying to run through, and then they will just get killed off. They're better to be used strategically, to kind of go through and target archers or something like that, which most players do a pretty decent job of doing. And it looks like Isengard is getting the better of this exchange here, but there is a giant army from Mordor over here, so it's definitely not safe in the lands of Isen. Again, we'll lose this furnace here. I'm not sure what's better, Warg Riders, or I think Warg Riders are much better than Haradrim Lancers. I'm not too sure. I would imagine Warg Riders are pretty good. Especially since they have the Hell, which gives them 50% damage armor, obviously making them way better than most cavalry. So Isengard is pushing forward here. Got some Easterlings on the field. Now that he has seen there's a cavalry threat, he does need the Easterlings. Easterlings are my favorite unit, one of them. Other than the Mumakil, obviously. Which is like why I like using the Men of the East strategy, which is the Mumakil and Haradrim Archers and Easterlings. It's a fun strategy to use. But Mumakils generally aren't seen in professional games, as they're kind of a hard to get unit. Generally, there's a lot of action going on. You don't have time for Mumakils. They're also very expensive. And there's a worm being summoned by Mordor, looks like. Yep. Looks like Isengard has Devastation now. And he has 675 command point limit. Mordor has 775, so he does have more farms. But Isengard's economy, obviously, will be keeping up regardless because he has Devastation. Although Mordor does have industry, keep that in mind. So his economy will be getting steamrolling as well. And this worm will be doing terrible damage here. He does lose his clan steading and that Urk pit. That is unfortunate. And Cam could be in some trouble, because there's still a lot of orcs here. This level 3 furnace is in trouble. There's a lot of orcs still attacking it. It's trying to defend itself. And the worm is just really, really proving its worth here. You see how powerful the worm really is. It's able to take out most of a base if you use it correctly. And Cam does lose his level 3 furnace there. Big blow there. He does have one left, it looks like. He's actually got almost no furnaces left. How he's managing, or going to manage to hold off Mordor is beyond me. Maybe that is how Mr. Saruman on the field. Man, the legend, the wizard, in white. And he will be proving quite useful, especially against Mordor spam, as that wizard blast and fireball is just devastating to those giant clumps of troops. Now it's a matter of rebuilding, as Cam is down to 600 command point limit with these 3 farms, or furnaces. Does he have some down here now? Oh, he does, okay. I was going to say, how does he have so many? He actually has a decent amount left. He's by no means out of the game. Definitely not. He has Wildman ready to be used as well. Possibly waiting for War Chant to be off cooldown, so he can throw those down together. Looks like Mordor's about to get 10 power points. There's a skirmish up top. Saruman throwing his wizard blast out there, blowing lots of guys out of the water. Not literal water, but Rajam using their barbed arrow shots, which are pretty decent, but not against the power of Saruman. And they will be taken out. And now the Warg Riders will begin pushing in Donatello's base here, doing as much economic damage as he can while he's in the area. Saruman's abilities are on cooldown. He should probably go off of defense or aggressive stance though. He's taking a lot of arrow damage because he's in aggressive stance. Do you take flanking damage from arrows? I'm not sure about that, but I would imagine you might. Oh, looks like he was going for a Mumakil pit. That breaks my heart. Unfortunately, it does lose that Mumakil pit before Mumakil was purchased. And it looks like he will lose his level 3 slaughterhouse as well. It does have a industry on it. And it looks like he's going for the Mumakil pit again. Donatello, I applaud you. Here. There you go. I clapped. A literal applaud. And I hope it happens, because I love the Mumakil. I just like to watch it in action. But Cam definitely probably will want to get rid of that Mumakil pit immediately, because those will be extremely powerful. Probably be able to kill Saruman. I'm not sure if they're as powerful as they are in patch 1.06 of regular Battlefield Middle-earth, but that charge ability has the power to kill heroes as far as I'm aware. Quite quickly, if not instantly. So we'll see how that works. Or maybe we won't. We'll see. And a Mumik is what it's called in patch 2.02, because that's a singular way to say Mumakil, I guess. I guess the developers originally didn't know that. But who knows? Who cares? I still call them Mumakils. Saruman's powers are available to use. Fireball going down, killing lots of orc archers there. And as you see, they're burning to death. Doesn't need to get a wizard blast on these Rajam archers, probably. That would be the best target, I feel, for the wizard blast. Saruman, you have a job to do. There you go. That will decrease casualties by quite a bit. There's a few orc archers here and there. I think Isengard will be just fine, although there's an attack from the east here. Southeast-ish. Warg Riders, though, ready to take out a majority of that army, instantly trampling a bunch of orcs. There's some Easterlings here, though, he cannot deal with those. Golem here possibly could pick up the ring if Cam sees it or wants it. I don't know. Isengard tends to be a good team to actually do this with. If you can get the ring, Isengard's economy is usually good enough to get to that point, as they do have all the economic powers. Well, not all of them, but they have a lot of them. They have devastation, they have industry, and they have I heard it. There's a Mumakil. Feel the fires. They have that as well. Mooncat on the field for Donatello, looking to play with his elephants, or oily font, or however you would say it, depending on where you're from. And he will begin pushing across the ford here with a vast army. I'm looking forward to seeing that engage, as this is my favorite unit in the game. I do love this one quite a bit. It's just so cool. And yeah, does he have an answer for that is the question. A charge into these would be just as devastating, really. A charge ability being this right here, charge, or just move kill to trample the enemy. So we'll see if he manages to use that. Is he going to use it on the army or the base? Is he going straight for the fortress? Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. He is turning around. He does want to avoid the pikes. Pikemen are the counter to sort of counter. Pseudo counter. Oh, is he going to trample Saruman? I want to see this happen. Turning radius isn't ideal, though. He's trying desperately to catch him. Doesn't manage to catch Saruman, but he does manage to kill almost all of those archers. And he does run into some pikes. And down goes the Mumikil. Saruman avoiding death. So good job to that. Another Mumikil being popped out, though, immediately. This battle is far from over. Mordor having a 25 power. It's like you're being thrown down on the base. Destroying most of the structures in this area. Well, all the structures in this area, I should say. Because there's nothing left in that smoldering heap. And as the Mumikil carcass dissolves, another one will take its place, leading the charge here. Donatello is bringing it back. Also making a second one. And also pumping out orcs from everyone. He has Haradrim archers pumping out here. Easterlings pumping out there. So he's definitely got his production going. There's a spy power being thrown down. Oh, I didn't realize the freezing rain had been used, because I didn't really see it. Still don't see it. I didn't notice, at least. Alert's being brought out, though. That'll be helpful. Fireball doing a decent amount of damage to the Mumik, but not killing it. And Saruman will have to run away. I wonder if he stood in the middle of a porcupine formation pikes, would he be okay? I mean, he'd still probably get trampled, but I think the Mumikil would instantly die. Maybe. Don't quote me on that, because I don't know. Let's go back to observing all players here. Looks like the Mumikil is going to be taking out a few farms here and there. Or furnaces, rather. While he pushes in with an army of orcs and Haradrim archers. And a few Easterlings, too. Saruman definitely proving his worth. He's got to be careful with the Saruman, though. Although the Warg Rider's cleaning up these Haradrim archers nicely. That's going to hurt. But they are still alive because they are on the tainted land. Getting that buff. Saruman a little bit wounded. He's got to be careful. He is level 6. He does have his Thunderbolt now. That would be a quick way to deal with a Mumikil, I'd imagine. I'm not sure if it'll insta-kill it. So there is another one waiting as well. Another thing that makes the Mumikil powerful in this patch is they do have Haradrim archers on top instead of Haradrim lancers, which are the spear throwing variety of Haradrim lancer, not the actual cavalry one. So those were pretty crappy, I gotta admit. So I like the Haradrim archers on top, which are pretty powerful. Lurch definitely doesn't want to engage this, but if he's careful, he can actually shoot it, run, shoot it, run. He could kite the Mumikil. Mumikil going to be charging through pikes. Actually, it doesn't die. I thought it would instantly die if it charged pikemen, but no. It actually lives. Managed to walk right over these crossbows, and will get away. So, well use of a Mumikil there. Another one's still waiting. That was the original one. Does he have a third one? And probably not. He is getting mountain trolls, though. Mountain trolls are pretty good with their little headgear. I've always hated their little helmet. It looks silly. I don't know. It was just me. From far away, it looks like some kind of, like, special education troll with his helmet and his suspenders. It's a very strange design. But, whatever. It is a cool unit nonetheless. And here we go. A battle for the Ford of the South here. Southeast, I should say. Mordor is actually pushing into the middle, though. And the south. Looks like Isengard has a very good defense force, though. Lots of buff crossbows and wargs, as well as Lurtz and Saruman. Saruman could take out most of these orcs without much trouble. And the warg's doing a great job of keeping his farms alive. And it looks like some lancers are trying to engage. He's not going to want to do that. Opting instead to save his buildings. Let's take a look at the powers real quick. The worm is ready to be used. Donatello. Summon dragon. Apparently I'm missing something. I did not see that was happening. He summoned that down to destroy a... something. Whatever was here before. Does actually take out that building as well. Is he going to go for this? Yeah, slaughterhouse being destroyed. Well, that's just a dragon. I want to watch the Mumakil. Lots of crossbows though. He just has to be careful. He's just not able to get the charge on Saruman. The charge that he so desperately desires. All these mountain trolls actually doing a lot of damage to these archers. How's the dragon doing here? Took out a decent amount of structures. Burned like half the army. Not a bad use of a dragon. Although I feel chasing these units is probably not the best use, as he could be using it to take out more slaughterhouses. He's not going to actually catch... Well, he does actually manage to catch a few of them. So, I take that back. He actually got them quite nicely. The barricade being thrown down there. Fend off Isengard. Oh, Mumakil returns. I think this was the wounded one that got away. Looks like it has been healed. I guess they regenerate health at level 4. But he will force Cam to demolish that furnace. There's Golem still running around. I don't think anyone cares to grab him, unfortunately. But that's fine. Looks like Donatello does have this outpost here. Don't think he's making use of it though, even though they do give you cheaper Easterlings. Is he actually building Easterlings? Donatello, you could build Easterlings here, but it's only like what 50 resources at this point in the game. Probably not really a big deal. As you see, Donatello has 1700, and as does pretty much the other guy. Cam have a oh, that's not a Fell Beast, that's the Witch King. Witch King being brought out from Donatello. This is going to be painful for Isengard. And I've always said it, and I'll say it again, Isengard is probably one of the worst teams to have to deal with flying units, as their archers tend not to be enough. Saruman helps though. So does Lurtz. Lurtz has a bow as well. And Saruman's fireball helps. Ooh, Lurtz is very, very wounded. Not sure why. Maybe he engaged the Mumakil and almost lost. Throwing up a battle tower, actually, good idea. That will stop these guys from engaging him. And he will be able to retrieve his Mumakil. And Worm being thrown down. That can take out Lurtz if he targets him. Lurtz is going to die here. The Roger Archers maybe should target Lurtz. Easterlings will at least. And he will be taking flanking damage. Ah, if only he targeted Lurtz with his archers. Looks like an archer is now being sent to Lurtz, and he will go down there. And the clan steading once again being knocked down by the Worm. The Worm is just so powerful. Isengard does have a decent sized force here. We do have a Witch King in the sky, leveling up on some furnaces. And he does need his furnaces quite badly, as that was where his command points and his money comes from. As you see, Mordor has a commanding lead in how many troops he can actually make in comparison to Cam. Alexis, who is only at 575 now, and that will affect his economy as well. So Mordor clearly having more slaughterhouses by far, and more leveled up ones at that. As Isengard is being forced to play very defensive. It's very hard from such Mordor spam to actually deal with. You're constantly fighting aggression, and it can be very hard to stop, especially without losing structures here and there. Especially when you bring the Witch King into play, or a Fell Beast of some nature. You see the Witch King just flying around destroying all the furnaces he can, really just doing a ton of economic damage. And I think Isengard might be overwhelmed at some point if this continues to keep up, as Mordor has the capability of just doing so much. Oh, Saruman, don't do it. And as you see, yes, the Mumakil does do as much trample damage as I thought. And the Haradrim archers on top are actually going to kill off Saruman. Oh, it's going to be costly. Shoot, Haradrim archers, shoot! And Saruman goes down. See the amount of trample damage the Mumakil does. It's insane. So once those are utilized correctly, so powerful. Armies of attack trolls and Mumakil and like Easterlings are so strong. I love that combination, personally. I'd like to see some attack trolls. But just as nice, we do have the 9 Black Riders there. Well, they're just the Black Riders, but they are the 9 in Asgul. There's only 7 of them here, I think, right? Or is there 6? No, there's 6, because there's a Witch King and 2 Flying Fell Beasts. That's right. And that equals 9 in total. So the 6 Nazgul will begin trampling. Doesn't have any pikes here. That could be devastating. If Donatello sees this, manages to get in there, he'll get a huge trample on those crossbows. And that will be very, very bad for Cam. So we'll see if that manages to happen. Is he producing pikes? He actually can't produce any pikes because he's command point capped. And as you see, that is what I was talking about. He just doesn't have the capability to fight Mordor's spam at the moment. He's doing all he can to defend. And Mordor will just outspam him eventually because of how many troops he can produce. Because of how many slaughterhouses he has. Isengard's just desperately hanging on here. And Mumakil in comes once again. I said that interestingly. It's not how you make a sentence, but it works nonetheless, I guess. Since the Witch King is targeting directly this Uruk pit, trying to cut off as many reinforcements as he can. Mumakil getting huge trample on these archers here, killing almost all of them. Lurtz didn't manage to take much damage, but Lurtz is about all that's left. And honestly, I think this game is going to end pretty soon. We do have catapults as well. How is Isengard going to react to this? How is he going to stop this force? And the answer probably is he's not, as there's just so much here. The Witch King will be able to stop any cavalry from actually hitting him, hitting those catapults, and the catapults will just sit back and pelt at the fortress. And with this giant orc army in front, with some pikes in between, I don't foresee Cam winning this game. But I could be shocked, you never know. Let's take a look at powers real quick. That could always do... Oh god, Rain of Fire is almost charged. So that could actually be a game ender right there. We do have Wildman though, could be summoned back here. And he's doing just that. Will he throw a War Chant on top? He will indeed. He almost has enough for the 25 power, which is Dragon Strike. I just leave it on him. If he manages to get it, I would like to see it. But yeah, Mordor is definitely putting the pressure on Isengard here. Will he manage to get the catapults down? I think he will, because of these Warg Riders. And he will have to be a little bit careful because of these crossbows. There is still one ooh, the Rain of Fire going down, almost destroying the fortress. Almost also destroying the Warg Pit. And these 9 Black Riders, well the 6, I keep calling them 9. The Black Riders could actually finish something. Will he finish the fortress of the Black Riders? He will. Oh, that's a devastating way to lose your fortress. And he'll be able to retreat out this way, or this way, right here, without taking many casualties there. Still managing to keep most of them alive, and destroying Cam's fortress. And it didn't manage to get to Dragon Strike, and even if he did, he doesn't have a fort. And the game is over. Cam has left. And Donatello is the victor of this game. That was a great game, gotta say. Well played to both those players. Very good play. But definitely how you want to play Mordor. If you're a Mordor player, take a tip from Donatello. That was pretty nice. But it's definitely well played to Isengard as well, as that is pretty good Isengard play as well. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that game. And I'll see you in the next cast of The Rise of the Witch King, patch 2.02. So I will see you guys next time.